Imagine waking up one morning and your city has literally turned into a ghost town. And not because of a zombie apocalypse, but because your main factory packed up and left. And this isn't science fiction, that's South Africa in 2025. And it's happening because we've disconnected ourselves from one of our most vital trade lifelines, the US. And yet, our ruling party seems more interested in flirting with communist dogma than fixing the basics. So what gives? Stay with me. I'll explain why losing access to AGOA is not just a trade issue. It may become an existential crisis for jobs, industry, and our future. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newsflash. I'm your host Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. Let's start with the Business Tech Report. East London, one of South Africa's few surviving industrial hubs, is facing the possibility of becoming a ghost town if Mercedes-Benz, South Africa, scales back or shuts operations. Why? Because for years, the factory exported its C-Class sedans to the US under AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which removed import duties on qualifying African goods. That gave South Africa car manufacturers a competitive edge, one they sorely need in a world of razor-thin margins. But then, in 2025, the US imposed a 30% tariff on South African imports, effectively slamming the door on our exports overnight. Vehicle exports to the US tumbled by 82% in the first half of 2025 year on year. So the factory, which employs 2,400 people and contributes about 25% of East London's economic activity, is now on a razor's edge. In short, we are one policy misstep from turning a beaten industrial city into a boarded up relic.
We are fucked.
And if you ever wondered why the US matters so much, let me list a few reasons and why alienating them is like poking a sleeping bear with a stick. 1. Market access and trade stability. AGOA gave us preferential access to the US for many products. With it gone or weakened, South African exporters pay full tariffs and lose competitiveness. The collapse of AGOA benefits isn't distant. It's here. 2. Foreign investment and confidence. Global capital watches these signals. If you antagonize your biggest trade partner, investors get skittish. They'll park their money elsewhere. 3. Technology, innovation, and supply chains. The US is often at the frontier of advanced manufacturing, R&D, and global supply chains. Keeping close ties helps your domestic firms integrate, upgrade, and avoid becoming cheap raw material exporters. 4. Geopolitical leverage and alliances. Having the US as a partner gives you diplomatic weight. If you antagonize them, you lose not just economic opportunity, but also influence and allies. So, when South Africa loses AGOA privileges, we are not just losing revenue, we're weakening our place in global architecture. I guess this shouldn't come as a surprise that the AGOA agreement may not continue. The US has given South Africa a chance to end race laws, stop cozying up to US enemies, stop EWC and other harmful policies like BEE, and condemn Kill the Boer song. But SA or South Africa, all they've done is double down. So what could happen next? Well, let me lay out what's likely to follow. The East London scenario is not unique. If one factory goes, many will follow. Hundreds of thousands of jobs linked to exports are at risk. Shrinking industry means shrinking tax base, which means fewer services, more debt, and a government even less able to deliver. The social contract phrase, unemployment, poverty, unrest, a vicious downward spiral. As we close ourselves off from trade partnerships, we become reliant on patronage and state control, fertile ground for cronyism and corruption. In the theater of global power, we will be marginal players. If we pick fights with the US, our options shift toward less reliable allies, ones who expect ideological allegiance, not fair trade. Here's where I get honest. The biggest tragedy isn't losing AGOA or even factories closing. The tragedy is that our leaders seem more invested in ideological purity than pragmatic progress. They masquerade radical leftism as liberation while dismantling the very foundations of a functioning economy. If the ANC continues on its path, it will not uplift the poor. It will just make things worse. And it doesn't matter if your rhetoric sounds righteous. If your policies deliver ruin, we should not settle for being passive recipients of foreign policy whims. South Africa needs to assert itself intelligently. We need to be a partner, not a scapegoat. We must establish respect in trade, competence in governance, and integrity in leadership. If we can't get that right, East London will be just the first in a chain of ghost towns. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to help me uncover the truth behind land grabs in South Africa by helping to support Stolen Ground 2 and 3 productions, or the budget for the productions. You can find out more details at stolenground.co.za if you want to link directly to the Back a Buddy campaign, or if you want to go directly there, that link is in the description or pinned comment. And if you prefer to donate via EFT, those details are also in the pinned comment and description. Don't forget to leave a comment below this video. Let me know what you think about all this, and share this video far and wide, and leave a like on the video. It really helps out. And speaking about helping out, no matter which platform you are watching this episode on, don't forget to drop a follow or a subscribe. I've got more content coming your way, and with all that being said, thanks for watching. Your Newsflash is in.